Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome to another video. This one I have been wanting to do for a few months now, basically ever since COVID hit. And I really wanted to share about what I was seeing when it came to the energy of the Divine Feminine, or you could call it the Yin aspect, or the Goddess, or yeah, whatever words you want to put on that. I'm going to use Divine Feminine because that's just what flows through me. Um, yeah, so I was really feeling like I wanted to make this video, and I'm kind of pleased now that I waited because more has unfolded and I'm just seeing a little bit more. I've made some notes, which I don't usually do, but I really felt like I wanted to just, yeah, there's lots of little bits that I wanted to cover. So, when COVID hit at the very beginning, what I was being shown was that this time now, the feminine energy, the divine feminine energy, was moving through everything. And the words that have come since then is that it's taking hold. So it's taking hold within all the structures, like everything, like all matter, all physical structures, all thought form structures, all of the structures that create society, outside of us and within us as well. And so it's really important to remember that this is all going on inside of us as well. So that's where we can be empowered and take responsibility for what's happening inside of us as this shift and change happens. So what's coming through to say is that I'm not saying that the divine feminine is going to be like necessarily like the leading force or anything. Very much for me it's about balance coming. But first of all, my focus and what I'm seeing is around the divine feminine coming back. It's almost like I sense it like it's just not been present. It hasn't been present in our structures. So like when we look at the way society works, on the whole, there's a lack of love, there's a lack of compassion, there's a lack of, yeah, really unconditional love, there's a lack of honouring and respect and intuition, and it's like where creativity isn't celebrated, where these aspects aren't celebrated and seen as important as, say, like straight lines, like just the rules and the regulations and just this harshness and competitiveness and taking. The feminine is much more about receiving and yeah, I feel like I went off on a little. Okay, so yeah, so all the places where all those structures outside of ourselves, and so remember that all of that is within us as well. And so this energy of the feminine is literally moving through everything right now and taking hold. That's the words that came recently that I saw somebody post, and I was just like, yes, like it's like it's coming back into matter now. It's merging with everything. So where these structures don't align with that energy, they can't stay alive anymore. They can't maintain themselves. These structures can't work anymore. Anything that is out of alignment with this feminine energy, this unconditional love, this inclusion, this unity, beauty, honoring, loving, supportive, all of those qualities that we think of as mothering. Maybe that's another really good way of putting this as well, that it's the Divine Mother. Oh, feel that that feels nicer rather than the divine feminine somehow. Um, that yeah, that feels good in my being. So yeah, when we think of nurture and yeah, anything you might associate with mothering in its healthiest form, let's say. Um, okay, so that's what I'm seeing happening, and I want to say as well that from what I'm sensing, that we've had the COVID thing, and that's still playing out. However, that's playing out for you, and we're all having very different experiences with it. Very, very, very different experiences. Um, but it's flushing up everything, and it's showing us where we're out of alignment with love, basically. Um, and so I guess I want to say that, like, we need to be honoring what's going on right now. I know it's very easy to go into fear, and also that fear needs to be felt and honored as well. Like all of it, everything that comes up needs to be felt and honored. Oh, it's really funny. Now that I've got notes, it's kind of like my train of thought isn't the flow isn't there quite so much. Um, okay, where was I? Not sure where I was. So I will just go on to my. Oh yes, I was going to say that there's more coming. This is the beginning. We're in the beginning of the shift that we've been waiting for. Basically, if you've been following spirituality for maybe like you know that there's a great change that's being talked about, and I just feel like we're in it now. We're in it, and it's not going to let up. And we are going to continue to see some really shocking things, I feel. And I don't say this for fear, I just say this because that's what's happening, and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's not okay. What we're seeing is not okay. And it hasn't been okay on the human level. On a higher spiritual level, it's all perfect. It's all part of the evolution of spirit, of life, of creation. Like creation wanted to know itself in all these different forms, but yeah, on the human level, this stuff is not being okay, and it's time for it to end now, and it's time for it to come back into harmony, and that's going to take a really big, long process. It's not going to be quick and easy. I don't feel. Although that can be your experience. I've had a very harmonious time through COVID. And actually, I had a really difficult year last year. That was my really difficult year. And for me, this experience has actually been very easeful and very graceful and actually quite beautiful. So actually, we can ride these waves in a different way. But it also, yeah, like the shit is hitting the fan, like it's all going to be seen. All of it is going to come up to be seen, and that was one of the things that I wrote down as well about this year being. It was said at the beginning of the year, like 2020, it was about clear vision, about seeing how things really seeing with clarity, and I feel like this energy is really facilitating that. We are getting to see exactly what isn't in alignment with love right now. So well, I'm just hearing we are so held in love as well through all of this, through all of this. But yeah, it's not easy to see, and it is going to trigger so much stuff within us, so much stuff around us, and yeah, we're going to need to learn those and get used to really being with those sort of more divine feminine qualities of love, compassion, unity, intuition. I feel like that's a really big one. Like, we're really going to need to learn how to use our intuition to know where to go, when to go there, to be, like, to really listen, to really be able to listen. What else did I want to share? I've got some things on what we can do, so I'll have a look at. I'll share a little bit about that in a minute. One of the things that's been coming up the last few weeks that I'm just really curious about. Well, I feel really emotional when I say this as well. And this is coming from some conversations that I've had with the men around me, looking at my own inner masculine, and the healing that's going on within me. Like, I had these parts. I had a session with a friend recently during the last week, and I had these parts, and like, one of these parts was a protector part, and he believed that what he was doing was for my highest good. He really believed that, and I think we have to remember that a lot of the time, these structures, people really do believe that they are for the highest good, because we're so brainwashed into believing that life is a certain way and that we need to live it in a certain way. And so this part of me, he was wearing a police uniform, and he was stern and like, just, he was showing me there's a certain way to do things and there's a certain way to protect yourself. And it was all this kind of very out of balance masculine energy that we're seeing dominating the world right now. I want to be very clear that, like, this is out of balance masculine. This isn't harmonious masculine. What we're coming into right now is a period we will be, however long, I don't know how long that's going to be until we come into that, but the masculine and the feminine are harmonizing together now, and that's what I keep seeing, this merging of the masculine and feminine in such a beautiful way. So that's what's coming. That's what's starting to take hold. So it's not just the feminine coming in, but this beautiful dance between the two. Like, they're really merging. And going back to the healing I had, by the end of it, the police officer had like taken off all his clothes, and he like merged with the divine feminine within me. And he was taking off his uniform. He didn't want to be that anymore. He wanted to be wild and free, and to merge with that feminine aspect. So I'm really curious about how this is going to affect Ben. What I'm seeing right now is these egoic, out of balance male structures are the ones that are falling right now, and we all carry this. It's not just men, but I am curious as to how this is going to show up for men right now. I think there's going to be a lot of breaking down of these egoic structures, this competition, this lack of showing affection, and there's going to be this wound of the lack of affection, the lack of love, is going to really reveal itself. Oh, I really feel that really strongly right now. And that's what's revealing itself through all of creation, all of, like, on earth right now, is where there's been this big lack of nurture and love and holding and intimacy, and it's what we all crave. It's what we're all looking for. We've all been looking, I feel, on some level, for this divine feminine aspect that has been just missing in our culture and on this planet on some level. Wow, I'm getting this really interesting image of us like circling through the cosmos, or spiraling, and we're going into a new, I don't know, I haven't seen this before. We're going into a new area of the cosmos, of the universe, that is going to bathe us in this energy. It's bathing us in this energy. It's like a pocket of divine feminine essence. Anyway, I don't know much about that because I've only just seen that in this moment. So the piece around men. I think what's naturally going to arise anyway is a sense of more love and compassion within all of us. So the more that we can hold that and just recognize that everybody is wounded, everybody has had this lack of this energy, and it's playing out, and there might be a lot of anger that comes up, you know, like we can feel really angry when our needs aren't met, and like it shows as anger. It comes out as anger before we realize that there's something beneath that anger. So just, yeah, it's just an invitation to just be more aware of that in your immediate life. So we're seeing stuff going out on the main stage, you know, through the media. We're seeing what's going on in the world, but make sure that you're taking a really close look at yourself and what's going on in your immediate environment right now. If you want to create change, we have to do it in here. We have to do it in here, and we have to do it with the people around us as well, and then it ripples out. So I was saying that this is going to go on for some time. I don't know what's going to be exposed, and I don't think it's going to be very pretty. Well, it isn't. But on some level, there was an invitation when I was writing my notes to really honor what's happening right now. So, like, to not go into fear around what's happening. And I'm not saying to bypass the fear that's arising with you, and to work with it, and to really hear what it has to say. But also there's this energy of needing to honor what's happening right now. Yeah, so I know I've covered this already, but I'm just going to say this sentence that I wrote down. It says, big egoic structures of dominance are falling apart now, not just on the outside, but within each of us. And this is going to show up in the way you work, the way you relate with your friends, the way you parent, all of it. These structures run within every way that we react and respond to life. So yeah, this is huge. This is huge. I'm actually quite excited by it. When COVID hit, like the experience in me, I was like, oh, I know this. I know this is I know this is coming. I've always known this is coming, and I feel deeply for everybody, and have compassion and respect for everybody that's having a really hard time right now. But also, this is happening for the highest good of everyone and everything right now. Okay, so then I want to share a little bit about what we can each do individually. So one of the really big experiences that I had at the beginning, in the beginning of COVID, and actually this has been going on for a long time now, but it seemed to amplify within my being. And there was a whole load of stuff around AI as well at the time, and everyone's talking about 5G and Elon Musk's satellites, and just like this big thing around vaccinations, and there was a lot of fear, and there's a lot of different narratives being spoken right now. And what I was seeing, especially with the AI stuff, AI. Sometimes my dyslexia kicks in, and I get my letters around the wrong way. With the AI stuff, it was like, wow, people are looking for safety. So that's another thing about this divine feminine energy. Like in your womb space, or in your sacral, if you're a man, or your etheric womb space, this is about feeling safe in our lower chakras. and it's been really hard to without this feminine energy present. And what I was seeing, like with the AI stuff, is like people are looking for source energy, like they're looking for safety outside of themselves, and they'll plug themselves into anything in order to have a sense of that. So obviously we can do that by plugging into nature and plugging into directly into source, into our own source. We are all source energy, so we can tune into the source within us, within our hearts, within our material structure, into our spirit, into our matter, into all of it. So meditating on being part of all of this loving creation, to really drop into a space where you can begin to reprogram yourself into believing and knowing and sensing and feeling the ever present love that is already here. So I do want to say that, like, this divine feminine energy has always been here on the higher frequencies. Like, it's always possible to tune into this. It's just somehow now it's what I'm hearing. It's like it's coming into the 3D world now. Like it's it's more in the material, the three-dimensional realms. So to really start meditating and sitting and being with this loving energy, so you can see yourself as such an integrated part of creation, not being separate from creation, but really, really, really dropping in, feeling, knowing, sensing that you are part of the structure of this beautiful feminine essence, of this beautiful dance between the masculine and feminine. You are this beautiful aspect of spirit and matter merged. You are love at the very core of your being. You are unconditional love. It's what you are. And the more that we sit with that and tune into that and tune into your source and ask yourself, where is my source? How can I find my source? Just ask these questions. If you don't know how to do it, ask. Just ask yourself. Tune in, drop in, and ask yourself, because you're the one who knows the path that you need to go on. Like, other people can hold you and support you and direct you. Well, maybe not even, direct you back to yourself. But ultimately, you know, because you are it. You are all of it. So, I really feel that meditation part of it, or, whatever that looks like for you, however you resonate with being able to drop in on that level. And of course, I'm going to say, get out in nature if you can, as much as possible. Connect to the earth, connect to plants, connect to trees, connect to the air, to the wind, to the sun. Like, even, if you're in town and it's harder for you to get there, look out of your window, open your window, feel the air, feel the sun, drop your roots into the earth. Like, there are so many different ways that you can ground yourself into nature and to really begin to harmonize with nature. So the more that we're harmonizing with nature, with our own nature, the more we can trust our intuition, the more it will guide us, the more we will know what to do, when to do it, how to speak, what to say, because that's going to be a big part of this as well. This is a huge part of all of this, is the throat chakra really coming online right now. And we're seeing it within the Black Lives Matter movement right now. People are speaking out And we need to listen. We need to listen to all of these different points of view right now and really understand what's going on for everybody in all these different areas. But also, we need to learn when to speak out, when to speak our truth to whoever it is that needs to hear it, in that moment. And I'm not talking about imposing our spiritual beliefs on people, but, it might be as simple as just needing to speak out to a friend, or just, like honoring that inner voice, because this this feminine energy hasn't had a voice. And it's like nature hasn't had a voice. Like, with the Black Lives Matter, like, Black people's voices haven't been heard. Like, there are so many voices out there that haven't been heard. We've been so under these egoic structures of quietening everybody. But yeah, I went off on one there. Yeah, so getting into nature and harmonizing with nature as much as possible will really really help you to align with what is occurring and what is going to continue to occur, and to really help to support your nervous system. So that's really important right now. Like, when we're like, I know for me, like, I can get really sucked in online, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm getting better at really noticing when I'm off, when my system is not feeling good. But it really fries our system. So so important to get out right now. So important to get out and to start listening when you're out in nature as well. This is just going to really, really help this harmonizing process. Okay, I'm just going to see if there was anything else. I think, just to really drop into love and compassion at this time for yourself, for whatever it is that you're experiencing, to have love and compassion for the people around you, for whatever their truth is right now, with whatever aspects they're living through right now, and will be in the time to come, the rest of this year at least. I think it's important to remember that there is truth running through every narrative right now. All of it. Everybody's experience needs to be honoured. Everybody's. Or, okay, yes, there's another piece coming in. So, because when I said that, then I was kind of seeing like these very dominant male orientated people. So it's not necessarily just the men, there's a lot of women, right, as well, that are running the same energy. And I'm going to just share one more thing that has happened in the last 3 weeks, actually. So when I moved to this new place, and I woke up one morning in absolute fear. I just had fear running through my system, and I'm sure we all know this one, and it can hit in the middle of the night. Anxiety, fear, or it just hits whenever it hits. We're all having this. We're all experiencing this in some form. And I was feeling it, and so usually the reaction is to want to push it away, is to like close it down, push it away, not feel it. I don't want to feel the fear. It's not good for me to feel the fear. And in this moment, I was still in between sleep and being awake. So it was this in between stage, and sometimes I get really profound experiences come through in that space. And this was one of those really profound moments where I just knew that I had to surrender into my heart. I had to surrender into the fear. I had to let it almost completely take over me. But I went into it, and I just went into bliss, and I went into love in that moment, and I just allowed the fear, and I wasn't resisting it. And then I was shown that all the darkness was here to bring us home. And that, that was a profound knowing. It was like I knew it in my body. I felt it and I saw it. Yeah. And I think that's a whole other topic. But the darkness is here to bring us home. And maybe I just have to leave that there and allow you to have your own experience with that. But yeah, it's about releasing judgment. It's about being present with what it is, because we're seeing a lot of darkness on the planet right now. But right now we're seeing it because we're coming home to love. That's why we're seeing it. It's why it's here. Okay, so I'm just going to see if there's anything else. Like I always like to put at the end of my videos is, you are so loved. You are so loved and you are so supported. Okay. So that divine feminine energy, the image she's giving me right now is relax, is surrender, is let go, lie down, literally lie down on the earth, lie down on your bed, lay down, rest, like let it all go, let it all go, all of these structures. Like it's about finding softness within the body again. You have to remember that it's all happening within us. So she's just giving me this image of just laying down, softening, taking this practice in your meditation of softening your body. Soften every part of your body. Just let go. Let go, let go, let go. And I'm hearing the words. It's so funny when I share these things. I know they're for me as well, and I just want to say that, I just want that to be clear, that like all the videos and things that I share, I know the messages are for me, and I'm sharing them. And if they resonate, great. And if they don't, no harm done. She said, and at some point you have to let the love in. Wow, I feel that really strongly. Sorry, this is like when I feel these things, they're so overwhelming sometimes. So all of these structures, all of this hardness, the structures that we've lived within have been cutting us off from this love, the love that we are, the love that can come in, the love that we can radiate out. And yeah, she was just saying, at some point you have to let the love in. And that's going to look different for each of us. And I'm not going to say how we do that, We do have to each go on our own individual journey. And it's going to be different for each of us. Yeah, this love is real. It's not a concept. It's not a beautiful fantasy. It's so real. And it really, truly is who you are, what you're made of. It's what it's all made of. Okay, I think that feels complete for now. Oh, God, that feels good to have got all of that out. Like, I have been wanting to say all of this for a while, and I know there's more, but yeah. And I just want to let you know that I am open to doing sessions at the moment and to holding people in whatever is coming up. Any of it, the fear, the shame, just your experiences. I just want to offer my services to hold an unconditionally loving space for people to share in and see what arises, and we can work with whatever is there through many different tools. But I just wanted to share that I'm doing that now. So you can check out my website, which I'm updating at the moment as I'm learning what it is that Spirit wants me to do right now. And I really think it's holding this space of unconditional love to really witness whatever wants to arise and allow it to transform. So thank you for listening and to getting to the end of this very long video, maybe one of the longest I've ever done. And yeah, you really are so loved.